Hello everyone. In this lecture I will explain gear routing protocol, which is also known as geographical energy aware routing protocol. This routing protocol actually used in wireless sensor network. So when we talk about wireless sensor network, there is a constraint, there is a very big constraint of energy. If a node is out of energy or depleted of energy, that node is no use. So this routing protocol actually based on location as well as energy. So we will see, so these are the key point of gear. So gear is a geographic and energy aware, so it consider both energy plus location. Now most of the routing protocol, how they deliver packet to the destination node, they will compare the destination, they will forward the packet to the neighbor who is having less distance for the destination. So that those routing actually based on geographic, only location based routing protocol. But in WS and energy also a very big issue. So this routing protocol actually consider both geographic and energy. Second most important thing to consider here is that gear routing protocol, packets are not targeted for a particular node, it is actually targeted for a region. Why region? Let's assume a base station wants to know temperature of a particular region, particular area, so that query has to be sent to that region. So in that query packet, region coordinates will be specified, and region shape can be the region shape is, say, let's say rectangle, so 4 coordinates will be specified in the query packet. So we will see the transmission of query, how this routing take place. And the third point is that in this protocol every node know its own location and its remaining energy, plus every node also having the information about its neighbor's location and the energy. Every node will send his location and energy information to its neighbors using hello packets. After a particular duration, every node update their neighbor about their current status of energy and location. And links in gear routing protocols are bidirectional. So in gear, every node actually compute a cost, and this cost is the basis for taking decision which will be the next hop. So this cost, if you can see here, uh, there's a symbol we are using alpha. So this alpha is a weight. If we take this alpha 1, it means this entity will be 0. So here we can say we are considering only distance. But if we take this alpha 0, in that case this entity will be completely 0 and this entity will be 1 and energy. So this is actually a trade-off between energy and distance. So uh, this alpha is selected in such a way that uh, uh, how much weightage we want to give to distance metric and how much weightage we want to give to energy status of a node. So this cost is known as estimated cost. So initially a node is not having idea about uh, sorry initially every node set its cost to estimated cost. There are two costs used in gear protocol. One is learned cost, second is estimated cost. So estimated cost, this is cost which are initially set, and learned cost, as the routing protocol proceed, every node will update their cost, and that updated cost is learned cost. So this is the formula for estimated cost. So initially every node will set their cost using this formula. So now as the our routing protocol proceed, when a node select one of its neighbor as a next hop for the routing or for delivering packet, immediately it will update its routing, its cost, and that cost is known as learned cost. And the formula for this one is the h, this is n minimum. So this n represent the neighbor who is having minimum distance towards the target region. So this is the minimum distance towards the target region, and this is the cost of sending packet from the current node to the selected neighbor. So this cost uh, will be added to the distance of the neighbor which is more closer to the destination. So we will see use of these formula with the help of example. So here we are taking one example. Let's say this is the base station, and this base station wants to know a particular a temperature of a particular region. So this region, this base station is interested in the temperature of this region. So this base station will send a query packet, and that query packet has to be delivered in this region. So when this base station will send that query packet actually contains these four coordinates. So these four coordinates will be mentioned in the query packet. So gear routing protocol actually divided into two phases. First phase, so here we are looking at the first phase. This first phase is responsible to route packet towards target region. So this phase will deliver packet to the target region, and once the packet reaches the target region, second phase will start. So first we will consider this first phase, and how this packet will be delivered to the target region. Actually, for this thing, distance and energy, both component are used, and greedy neighbor selection. Why? If let's say if a node is having two neighbor, and both neighbor are having same distance but their energies are different, so high energy node will be selected. If we take another example, if a node is having two neighbor with same energy but their distance are different, so less distance neighbor will be selected. And in case if they are having both metric different, in that case a trade-off will be used, that alpha which we have seen in the previous slide, that is selected in such a way so that we can use distance energy both for selecting next hop. So here what will happen, base station will send its packet to this node. Let's say now this node is having in its range only a single neighbor, so it will transmit, and this neighbor is having distance 10, but this node is not having any other option, so it will forward packet to this node, and the same this node will forward packet here. Now here we can say, here these two nodes are having same distance with the neighbor. This distance is actually computed from the centroid of the region, from here to the current node. So remember it, a distance, when we talk about distance, this distance is computed from the centroid of the region and the current node. So in this one, both neighbors are having same distance, and let's say this is 7. Now in that case, let's assume their energies are different. This node is having energy 2.3, this node is having energy 2.8. So we can say this node has to be used because this node is having less energy. So this routing actually load on the basis of distance plus on the basis of energy as well. So the second neighbor will be selected, and let's say these path will be selected. So here when this query actually forwarded to this node actually compare 4 coordinates of the region plus its own location, and this node will find out I am inside the region. So here this first phase will be stopped. So gear protocol works in two phases. First phase, the role of first phase is to deliver packet to the target region, and the packet actually having destination region, not destination node. Normally in routing, when a packet is targeted for a particular node, that node ID is inserted at the place of destination, but in gear protocol, target region is inserted as a destination. So there we use target region. So sorry. Okay, so what is the second phase? So we are assuming like this is a region, and in region packet is delivered. So here we are assuming this was the region, and this one is denoting that a packet is delivered inside the region. Now how this node will forward this packet to the targeted node or all the nodes. So from here second phase will start, and that second phase use recursive geographic forwarding. What is the meaning of this thing? Whenever a packet is delivered to inside the region, that current region will be subdivided into four regions. So we can say this region is divided into four sub-region, and then this node will forward that received packet to those regions using location based routing, where the routing which we have used in phase 1, the same routing which will be used for forwarding the packet from here to this region, from here to this region, from here to this region, and from here to this region. So first phase again will be reused here. So that's why this is known as recursive geographic forwarding. So in short, this node received one packet. It created four packet, and each packet it has forwarded to the four sub region using first phase using location based routing. So this recursive geographic forwarding is actually good for a region with high density, and we will see why this is good for only high density regions. Second point is that node receiving packet again forward packet to sub region using location based routing. So you have to remember that once the packet reaches region, that receiving node again forward those packets using the same phase 1 location based routing. Every node maintain learned cost, estimated cost, and once the packet is delivered to, let's say this packet is delivered to this sub region using phase 1, again this region will be divided into four sub region and same process apply. Now when this process will stop, so we will say this process will stop when a region is not having any node. If a region is empty, that packet will not be forwarded to that region, or if the receiving node find out that in his region he is the only node, so in that case that node will not forward that packet. So this is known as recursive geographic forwarding. We received a packet, region divided into sub regions, forward packet to those sub regions using phase 1. Again whenever those sub regions receive packet, that region again subdivided into sub regions, and again phase 1. So this is a recursive from phase 1. Phase 2 we are going to again phase 1. So this is kind of recursive, that's why this is known as recursive geographic forwarding. And now there are some issues with this recursive geographic forwarding, because that's why we have used here one more mechanism, restricted flooding. So what is the problem? Let's see the problem. Let's say this is the scenario, and we are considering this sub region actually having sensor node like this one. So we are considering only this particular sub region. This node forwarded packet here. So this node selected this neighbor first, then this neighbor, and this neighbor has forwarded packet to this node. So once the packet reaches the sub region, phase 1 stop, phase 2 start. So what phase 2 has done? Phase 2 has subdivided that sub region again. So here if you can see, this region is empty. Okay, now this node wireless, this is denoting the wireless range of this node. So this node can sense only this portion of this region, and this is the receiving node. So this node is not having any idea that this region is empty or not. So it will conclude that I cannot sense the entire sub region this. So maybe there are some nodes, so it will try to send a packet to this region. So what it will create a packet, and the packet it will put the 4 coordinate of this rectangle, this region, and it will forward that packet to its neighbors. Now this node is having neighbor 1, 2, and let's say this is also the neighbor of. So here we are considering actually this is the range of this node. So this is also the, so in that case also this node cannot sense entire subregion. So it will assume there is a node in this region, it will create packet for this region, and it will select as a next hop this node. So it will forward that packet to this node. Now this node, again say this is the range of this node. This node again cannot sense the entire subregion is empty. So out of its neighbor, and this node is, let's assume, having only one region neighbor, it again send the packet to this node, and there will be a looping. The packet will be keep on routed around the empty region, so there will be non-termination. So there is this problem is there because of recursive geographic forwarding cannot be used in a region with less sensors. So if a region is having less sensor, probability of having empty subregion is high. So that's why recursive geographic forwarding is good for region with high density. So in case if the region is having very less sensors, the second mechanism, restricted flooding, is used. What is this restricted flooding? In this restricted flooding, a node will broadcast packet. So it will receive one packet and it will broadcast only one copy of that packet. So whatever node is having in this wireless range, they can hear this packet and they can receive this packet. So node broadcast packet only one time, and actually it used the broadcast feature of the channel, and it is good for less denser region. So in phase 2 we are having two options: recursive geographic forwarding and restricted flooding. So how this protocol will decide which one has to be used? So node degree is used in a region, how many nodes are there, and a threshold is set. Let's say threshold is set 5. So when a packet is received in a region, it will see what is the degree of that region. So let's say degree is 4. So if that degree is less than the threshold, restricted flooding will be used. And if a node degree is greater than the threshold, in that case the region is denser and recursive geographic forwarding can be used. So if we summarize our first phase, so how it works: if a node is having some neighbors, and if those neighbors have same energy, then neighbor with minimum distance will be selected with target region, centered of the target region. If all neighbors have same distance but their energies are different, then node will be selected with high energy. In case if all neighbors are having different distance and different energy, in that case a trade-off between distance and energy is selected and route is computed. So here we are taking our final example. Let's say this is the target region, and this node wants to send something to this region to this node, and this yellow nodes, these are depleted of energy, means these nodes are dead, they cannot be used in route. So this S node will find out that S is having three neighbors, A, B and C. So A, B and C will calculate their estimated cost. So if you remember the estimated cost, so initially we are taking alpha 1. So in that case if we compute, so the distance between A and the center of this region is 2. So we are considering the distance between these two is 1. This is also 1. So here we can see A is having actually distance 2, and if we compute for B, B is having distance this one. So in order to compute this distance, we will use Pythagoras equation. So here it will be square of this one plus square of this one equal to square of distance between B and D. So in this manner we will be having distance between B and D is root 5. which is more than 2, and similar we will calculate distance for C, which is also root 5. So node S is having 3 neighbors with these distance 2. This will be definitely more than 2, more than 2. So A will select A as its next hope. Now A is having neighbors G, H, I, which are closer to target region as compared to B and C. So when this kind of scenario happen, when all the closure nodes are depleted of energy, or we can say A is not having any node which is closer to target as compared to A. So in that case we can say their hole exists. This is a hole. Hole means a node A is not having any node closer to target region. So whenever a hole exists, in that case estimated cost and learned cost will be different. So what now this node A will do, A is having only two options, B and C. So E can select B or A can select C. Both B and C are having root 5. So in that case, if the distance is same and we are considering the energy level also same, in that case this tie will be broken on the basis of node ID. So B will be selected. So whenever a node select next hope, so that part we actually left for S. So here node A select for route node B. So whenever a node select one of its neighbor for next hop, it will update its learned cost, and the formula for learned cost we have seen, it was distance of its neighbor which is selected and the cost for sending a packet to that neighbor, and we are considering this cost 1 for sending packet. So in that case the learned cost for A will be root 5 plus 1, because root 5, this is the distance of D B R. This is the distance of D B R, because B is selected as a next hope. So A cost actually become root 5 plus 1. So this node also send this updates to its neighbor. It will also send this distance cost to S. So S will find out my neighbors. B is having root 5, A is having root 5 plus 1, C is having root 5. So actually A is having more distance. So in that case S will send its next packet, or S will update its route for the next packet directly to B, because this was the current scenario. S was having these three neighbors and S selected B because of the less distance, and in order to break the tie, node with less IDs selected. Now B is having one node G and one node E as a neighbor, and let's assume this one as well. So the same scenario here as well. B is not having any neighbor which is closer to target. This E actually not the distance between E and centroid of this region is more than this B, but B is not having any option, so B will forward this packet to E. Now E is having a node which is more closer to centroid, which is F. So this F will be selected, and F is having a neighbor K which is more closer to centroid. K will be selected, and K finally delivers that packet to D. So at the end we are summarizing this GEAR protocol. GEAR protocol is having two phases. First phase, also known as location based routing, so in which trade-off between distance and energy is used, and this is a greedy neighbor selection. Whichever is less, that will be if a distance is less, a neighbor with less distance will be selected. If the energy is high and distance are same, so high energy node will be selected. So it distribute load among all the nodes considering energy plus distance. And the second phase, this which is recursive geographic forwarding. So once a packet reaches the target region, that region again subdivided into sub region, and again phase 1 is used to deliver those packet to those sub region, and this process will be continued until a empty region will be found, or a node is only one exists in a region. Thank you very much for watching.